Greetings to China Exposed News Talk. I'm James J. Sekino. Well, there's some developing story coming out, well, having to do with China. You see, China is it's a country, it's an opportunist country. It takes opportunities when the U.S. attention is doing something else or Europe is doing something else, then they start doing their stuff. They double down on what they're doing. They are in a global domination plan is what they are. Okay, what the Chinese are. And why we all been busy with the Chinese situation having to do, I mean, the immigrant situation and, you know, our borders and this and that and Donald Trump and, of course, the elections that just passed and all the Democrats, a bunch of commies who are in bed with the Chinese, okay? We have been busy focused in that direction. The Chinese are always busy doing stuff in the other direction, and they seem to get more things done than we do because we are just, we're wrapped, the Democratic Party has us wrapped up in a bunch of junk to keep us involved with them and keep us from actually doing anything about the Chinese because they're, like I said, in bed with the Chinese. But what we got here is the Chinese are now deeply involved in El Salvador. El Salvador president decided to go pay a little visit to China, and right away China gave him a nice little gift of $150 million, which I'm sure, possibly, good high possibility, that A's went straight into their pocket. You know what I mean? You know, this is the way China buys country. You know, the way I got to this story was I was trying to find out things about China involving other stuff, and I ran into a media from Mexico, actually it's a Latin media. I'm not sure if it's from Mexico, but they had this this whole section of videos having to do with El Salvador and China. They were talking about China, and it's incredible how brainwashed the people of El Salvador have gotten when it comes to China. What the Chinese have done is what they usually always do. They go in there with the hundreds of millions and millions. This is just one package that the Chinese give them. Okay, this just happened. Look at the date, November 8, 2018. This just happened a couple days ago. Okay, they just gave this money to El Salvador president. All right, and it so happened that a lot of these immigrants who are heading into the U.S., they say that they are from El Salvador. Wow, what are the odds of that? That the president of El Salvador, you know, around November 8th, decided to go visit China. China gives them $150 million in aid. And not too, you know, right around the same time, you got all these people from El Salvador also joining these caravans heading toward the U.S. Whoa, what are the odds of that? I told you guys, China is the one giving Venezuela the money to give to these organizations to organize these caravans to come to the United States, to go up to the border in the U.S. But nobody wants to pay attention, and even when the news is out there and people are talking about it, nobody's paying attention to it. Okay, that China is the money man behind the caravans. The true money man, the real big bucks is coming from China, organizing these caravans to hit the U.S. Of course, they're in bed, the Chinese are in bed with the globalists. Okay, and the globalists have their money, their organization, and we are under a, you know, you could say in a couple of prompt attack. We have, you know, they are launching attacks from different sides against the U.S. Okay, it's coming from the globalists. A lot of it's coming from China, and China wants. Let me tell you, China is probably on their knees right now, begging to their atheist God, whoever in the hell that could be, probably Satan himself, okay, that's what they're begging to, okay, that Donald Trump disappears tomorrow, because Donald Trump is sinking their ship. Their ship is that lollipop, you know, ship that goes down the lane that wants to conquer all world governments. China is on a world conquest. Nobody wakes up to the facts. Nobody can wake up to the fact that China is in a world conquest and they're out to destroy the United States. Still, in our government, in our Congress, and our people, we still have to act like prostitutes and whores and have a bunch of communists selling our country who should all be behind bars. The entire Democratic Party should be behind bars, okay, selling out to China. And we're still opening up our legs. Come in, China, come in, China, come in, China. Like a bunch of prostitutes, okay, allowing Chinese to pour into the U.S. Spies from China pouring into the U.S. These countries in the middle and in Latin America are poor countries who for years have been suffering a lot of corruption and drug problems, cartels, all kind of problems. Of course, the Chinese are opportunists. They've been wanting to go get closer to the U.S. They have been involved in South America and Central America, and they're all the way up to Mexico. But now with Donald Trump in there, they're more scared than ever, and they're tripling down what they're doing in Latin America. Now they have basically taken over a lot of the media in these countries. And when I was looking at that media report, and this from El Salvador, they were talking Spanish. I understand Spanish. And I was listening to them. I was in shock. The crap that I'm listening to here. Not one time during the entire, it was like 1 hour long, this entire thing having to do with El Salvador and China. Not one time did anybody mention the word communism. Okay, not one time did anybody mention what China is doing around the world in world conquest. Not nobody could mention this. Oh, and Donald Trump? Well, Donald Trump was the problem, the cause of all the problems in Central America. And that's why sweet little egg rolls from China had to come over. We're going to help you. Donald Trump, bad man. He's very, very bad. We're going to Chinese. We're very nice people. We're going to help you. We're going to stick egg rolls in every piece of your body. And we're going to feed you. Okay, you work for our factories 24/7, all the way down to the nail. When you want to quit, there's the window. You can jump off it, kill yourself. We'll bring another person. No problem. Well, this is the way we work. We're going to enslave your country, take over your government by giving shit loans that you can never, ever, ever pay. And you will be enslaved to the Chinese Communist Pig Party. How you like that? Huh? Very sweet, huh? This is what they're doing. All right? This is what the stinking Chinese Communist whores are doing. All right? Why America, the Democratic Party in the United States, the Communist Democrat, this is no longer a Democratic Party. We might as well just call them the Communist Party. Okay? Have done a whole bunch of stuff to keep Donald Trump and our government busy with their crap to keep us away from the Chinese. All right? Donald Trump is hitting the Chinese, but we're dropping the ball when it comes to Latin America. The U.S. is dropping the ball. You know, the U.S., for years has been getting weaker and weaker in Central and South America and Latin America in general. We're getting weaker. And the Chinese are pushing us out of there. The Chinese want to take all South. You know the amount of resources there are in South, between all the way going all the way down to Argentina, to Chile, all the way up to Mexico. The amount of resources these stinking bastards, communist pigs from China are going to be ripping off from these countries. Huge amount that we can't even compromise. I mean, contemplate. Okay, we couldn't contemplate the amount of resources these bastards are going to start taking from all those countries. You see, they take from these countries. Don't realize what happens. They take your resources and give you plastic toys back. That's what you get in return. And then they put factories in your country who are run by the stinking Chinese Communist Party. Okay, who then hire people for probably even less of what they're making and the factory they were making for their country. Okay, yeah, they get their jobs. They work 24/7. That's basically what they do. They turn them into slave. All the money goes to China, and that country still stays poor, gets even more poorer than what it was. And then they corrupt those countries where the country just becomes a communist, 100% communist country, just as that stinking bastard from Venezuela. Okay, what he's done to his country, which is destroy the country. He sold out most of his oil to China. And the entire country is being destroyed. That's what communists does. Communists never built anything good. All they do is destroy. The stinking Chinese bastards, the only reason that those communist pigs ever were able to build Beijing was because American money, we idiots, had to buy all the crap from those a-holes who are now building arms and weapons. They're turning against us and undermining our government. What is the whole purpose of China undermining our government? It's not to make us better and make us a better country. No, it is to sink and destroy and make us a third world country, because that's all communists ever does. Incredible. And I listened to this interview with this, not interviews, there's quite a few people being interviewed. It's like a reporter. He goes out to the street and he interviews people. But you can see these are key people. He's not interviewing the right people. He's only interviewing those who are, and you could say, those who agree with China's policies is what he's interviewing. So again, you have a left media or a fake media interviews what you have. And of course, everything has to be that the U.S. is this and that, and they're no good, and they're a falling economy. The U.S. is a falling economy. They're no, and the Chinese are number one in the economy in the world, according to them, which is completely backwards. It's not it. So the U.S. is still the top economy in the entire world. But this is what these are what the people from El Salvador are looking, when they look at their news, this is what they're seeing. They're seeing their brothers and sisters being interviewed, and they don't realize this is another communist propaganda that's being fed to them, okay, by a controlled press that is controlled by China's propaganda machine. And then in Washington, D.C., we recognize that China is at war with us, but we act like they're not at war with us, and we still go there and talk to them, and no big deal. What a bunch of crap. Look, we need to wake up to the reality. China is out to destroy the U.S. and enslave the entire world. That's their entire goal. These people in countries like El Salvador, and here it is, they give a whole list of all the countries that China, they were talking about, the people are talking about how China's involved in Honduras, how China's involved in Panama, how China's involved in Costa Rica, how China's involved in all these countries, in Central America, and all in South America, and Brazil, and Argentina. They're all over the place. They're a plague of roaches, but these are roaches who are out to destroy you, who are bringing a poisonous, who are bringing a poison like the rats brought the bubonic plague to Europe. They're bringing it to South America and all countries in which they invade, okay? But their plague is called communism. And communism is just as bad as the bubonic plague. It will destroy that many millions and millions of people. Okay, that is their entire goal. The idiots, those morons calling themselves the globalists, we are the globalists, we are the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, and we are the rock of this and the rock of that, and we are so strong and so powerful. Well, those morons, they think they have a handle on China. Screw you, morons. You don't have no handle on China. China's going to do you like a cheap whore in a freaking motel is what they're going to do you. They're going to do you all day and night and spit you out the window is what they're going to do. You morons and you so-called morons from the globalists. You are idiots. You don't realize you're being undermined by China and how much they already have taken over and how many countries they already have bought off. You morons! And what you did is the only countries that could have gone against China, you're out to destroy. That one country that can go out China because you think you have a handle on China. No! China's got their fingers up your rear so damn deep, I think it's coming out of your nose. Last time I seen one of the Rockefellers, I think I seen an egg roast being spat out of his nose. Okay? That was because it was being pushed all the way up his rear end. All right? Stupid. Beyond stupid. They think because they have billions of dollars that they can, their minds are supposed to be actually more smarter than the rest of the world. Why they're stinking little Chinese like little roaches 24/7 don't stop in their thing of undermining the world's government. You morons from the globalist department, you can say the globalists around the world. What a bunch of morons. The only country that could have bailed you out from the situation with China, you're out to destroy. You already destroyed Europe pretty much. You're taking over Europe and you're making it even worse than what it is. Okay? And the stinking Chinese, they're taking over everything else. And when they're done taking over everything else, they're going to go after Europe. And they're going, definitely, their whole thing, the biggest enchilada that the Chinese or the biggest egg roll they have to eat is the U.S. This is the one they want to turn it into a bunch of crap. They want to destroy it. Because we're the ones standing in their way. We're the last remaining, you could say, the last strong man left in the ring. It's the U.S. That's what it is. And this is what they want to go after. That's the big prize for China. Once the U.S. goes, those globalists, those morons, those Rockefellers, they will all be put up against walls and shot. Machine gun. All of them. They will take all those people and all those globalists and they will take all their association, all these secret societies, and they will line them up against the wall. Just like they do in China. All those people, they line up against the wall and shoot. They shoot But the Chinese shoot every year 4,000 people. This is only what they report. This is what China reports. They execute 4,000 people. The U.S. executes 40,000, 45, 49 people. They say an average of 40-something people a year is what we execute for murder, for doing something horrible. The Chinese, no, they execute you for just selling drugs and any other dumbass, stupid thing you do. They execute. This is what they report. If they're reporting 4,000, it's actually probably 10 times that is what the Chinese are executing. And that's what they're going to do. Once they get what the Chinese want to get, and they destroy the U.S., they're coming after the globalists. You stinking bastard globalists are going to remember James telling you that shit. When they put you against the wall and stick a rifle right stuck in your head and ready to blow your brains out. All of you guys, your money, your power is not going to stop the Chinese, because they're going to take over your banks and empty out your bank accounts. You're going to be poorer than the most poorest people in the world. And all those billions and billions you stole for so many people and so many wars you caused, you're going to pay back every single drop of blood in there. The Chinese are going to get you big time. Think about it. They're so busy trying to bring down the U.S., they don't realize that behind them, there's a little stinky little egg roll guy. I'm going behind them. Why you go behind them? I have big knife for globalists. Ho, ho, ho. I'm going to take care of all of them. And that's what's happening to China. Right behind them, China is sneaking around their so-called friends and is getting ready to plunge a huge butcher knife right through their back. That's right, you globalists. You globalists better hear what James has to say. And let me tell you, you guys are screwing up America so bad that by the time you start calling for the U.S. to help you, you have screwed it up so damn bad. The U.S. is not going to be able to bail out the globalists. And the Chinese are going to do you all in. Every stinking one of you guys. Stupid. Beyond stupid. China could have worked with the U.S., okay, and been a good country. But no, communism, it does not make anything. It self-implodes. Sooner or later, it will implode. Ask that moron, Hugo, what's his name, Maduro, from Venezuela, what he's done to this country. Ask those idiots, Fidel Castro, one of the morons already died. Ask one of the brothers. Ask them, the communists in Cuba, and ask the communists in any other country. What happens when communists takes over? They destroy the country. Here's the thing about China. What's keeping them alive, and what's been keeping them alive, has been the U.S. consumer. Those who buy their garbage. Well, when there is no more U.S. consumer and they destroy the entire economics of the U.S. and the Americans are at war with one another because there's a whole bunch of Americans who are never going to accept communism. When that happens and the entire U.S. is destroyed, that entire whole thing that China had about making billions and billions of dollars off the U.S., that's going to take a dump. And those Chinese cities are going to burn to the ground. For their own stupidity, because, like I said, communism doesn't create, it self-implodes. That's always been. You see, that's what the stinking little Chinese bastards come into our U.S. universities never tell our kids. That China, the communism implodes and destroys and kills by the billion. That's right, by the millions and millions. They don't say that nothing. No, everything okay, everything fine. China, my family doing great. So I can see the American guy sitting there at lunch in one of these university cafeteria was a stinking Chinese whore, one of the stinking Chinese communist bastards. Okay, and I'm talking about the Chinese Communist Pig Party, all of them. Okay, and he's sitting there with these people. Hey, how's life in China, Jack? Well, life in China very good. Really? And how's your family? Oh, my family doing very good. They all have jobs. How long is their jobs? What kind of jobs are they? Oh, they work in factory, making telephones. They make a telephone for everybody. They work 18 hours a day. Oh, they work a lot of hours. Oh, yes, but they make a lot of money. How much money do they make? $30 a month. That's what they're not going to tell you. You know? And what happens in China if you break a law, you steal a car or some potato or something? Oh, They take you, they put you against the wall and blow your brains out. Ha! And what happened to China if you say something bad about Xi Jinping? Oh, they take you and they put you up against the wall and shoot you. But first they take away your kidney. Ha ha! See, they're not going to say none of that crap. You know? Let me tell you, the U.S. government continued to sleep. I'm going to tell the U.S. I wish I could stand before Congress. First of all, I would like to slap all of them in the face. All of them. The Democrats and the Republicans. Just go on all of them. Because they're all a bunch of morons. The Republicans, no backbones. The Democrats, complete morons, giving in to the Chinese bullshit. Okay, and turning communism. And their own destruction is coming down the line. They too will also be put up against the wall and shot by the Chinese. When the Chinese take over, their whole entire family, that whole future they thought they were going to have for their entire family, they will all get screwed. But I would like to tell them, I wish I could stand there before Congress. First, I'll call them all morons. I'll say, you're all Congress, you're all morons. Every single one of you, just basically you're morons. Okay. You know. And I'll tell them, look, if you guys don't get your act together, like soon, like today, you should have got your act together yesterday. We're going to be all eating Chinese egg rolls. We're all going to be eating noodles. And we're going to be all working in factories 18 hours a day. And all of us who say anything about the government are going to be put up against the wall and shot. And we're all going to have to be making merchandise and crap and garbage for pennies an hour. And all our freedom is going to be gone. And more than half of our country will be destroyed by these stinking bastards. I will tell our Congress and them and Republicans and Democrats and if I could talk to the Senate, I will tell them all. Our country is about to fall. The globalist morons who don't realize that the Chinese are going to stab them all in the back as soon as they're done screwing up the U.S. Because right now everybody's in the same little boat. China and the globalists and the democratic pigs from the United States are all in the same little boat to destroy the United States. But once that party is over and they have completed their mission of destroying the United States, then out will come out the knives from China. And just like you see these old movies where a certain group took over and eliminated their competition, that's what you're going to see from China. And these guys ain't going to be able to do nothing about it. And then they're going to go to Europe and pick up all those rich bastards. They have all those banking empires and who have been raping and pillaging and doing as much as they want. They're going to pick them all up by the truckloads and they're all going to disappear. Just like they did in Russia when they picked up the royal family and executed them all. They went in there, got the Tsar and his family, took them down to the basement, and took care of them. That's the same thing the Chinese are going to do. Chinese have no friends. There is no friends when it comes to China. You know? And people think that China is actually out to help them. China's not out to help me. I wish I could talk to the people of El Salvador, Central America, and tell them, the Chinese are not out to help you. They're out to undermine your government. They're out to rape your resources, take as much resources as they can out of your country until you have no more resources left. They're out to give you loans to your government that they'll never be able to pay, and generations after generation will owe millions and millions to the Chinese. And the Chinese will put a communist puppet government in place like they did in Venezuela, who will answer to Beijing. That Venezuela fat pig, okay, he is a slave to Beijing, is what he is. And he is killing his people in Venezuela. And he don't give a crap as long as the stinking Chinese continue to fill his pocket with millions and millions of dollars. That's communism. That's the way it works. You know, I don't know what to say here. I don't know if America is doing if we're able to do anything. I mean, Donald Trump finally makes a move. We finally get a president to make a move against China and a government and our military and some people within our governments beginning to wake up to the fact that China is at war with us. We're waking up to the fact, but nobody's really acting like there is a war. They're basically allowing China to do whatever they want. We should have people sent to South America and Latin America, all over this place. We should have people going to different parts of Asia. We should have people going into Africa. We should be a U.S. We are the kings of negotiations. We have done great in business for years. But the stinking Democratic Party has kind of pulled the plug on that, and you see less and less people traveling to these, especially when you go and you tell people who are going to work overseas, you're going to say, oh, you're going to pay taxes. Well, shit, I don't even work in the U.S., but you're still going to pay taxes. Hey. They have done everything to screw up Americans who even go overseas to try to do something and try to make business over there. You know? And then we don't put enough people, enough manpower or enough resources into the people that we need to export around the world, like the stinking Chinese. They do it. They go around the entire world, picking up contracts from all kind of things and moving their country up, all the way up. We don't. We end up pulling people out. That's what we do. You know, it's a crazy. Let me tell you. Dark times for the U.S. Probably not dark times, but red flags for the U.S. was hammers and sickles. Is what we're going to see if we don't do something. We got to do something, people. We cannot continue. The U.S. citizen, we have to demand that our government don't allow no more stinking Chinese communist pigs to come into our universities. We have to demand that these people visa be revoked and get out of the country. They're going to continue to spy on our country. They're going to continue to undermine the minds of young people with communists and socialists who have no defense against that, because we American kids don't know anything about communism and socialism. They don't know it. They just buy whatever the stinking communist socialist teacher tells them. They think that whatever, if he says that's good, then they believe that's good. And then you have the reinforcement from the Chinese bastards coming into our schools who come, no, we're not bad people. It's just propaganda. Americans from the right doing propaganda against us. I can see it right now, what they're saying to these kids. We're nice people. We have nice families. We have very good people in China. Everybody very nice. Bull. And then, you know what the stinky thing about the entire thing? Our government is so full of themselves, so much up there, they have become like the untouchable. I mean, not untouchable, some kind of a god up in that White House and up in that Capitol Hill, where voices like me and a lot of people who are here are trying to enlighten people, trying to bring the light to the public of America. They don't do anything for us. And the more people talk about exposing the Chinese and exposing the communists and the socialists in the United States and exposing the lies, what do they get? They get banned from the internet and they get banned from social media. And what does our government do? They have a hearing to do nothing. That's what they have, a hearing. These are the people that we elected and put up there. These are the morons that we have elected, just like this past election. It's hard to believe. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that about a giant percentage of the United States population voted Democrat this year. I can't believe that. After everything that has been said about the Democrats and what they've been doing, we know our media has been compromised by China and communism and socialism, but the FCC allows them to operate unimpure. We know that they have become a weapon of war for the Chinese. The media has become a propaganda weapon of war. If we had to declare war right now with China, our media is the enemy of the United States. Our socialist communist media is a weapon of war being used as propaganda tool against the U.S. Why are we allowing their license to continue to operate? And why are so many of these people are going along with the ride? Is it that they think that the Chinese are going to make America better? No, they're going to enslave the entire population of the United States and destroy it and steal and take as many resources as they can. And it's not to help the Chinese people back in China. No, it's only for the stinking Chinese Communist bastard party. That's all it is. And these morons in Europe, who have allowed their entire European Union taken over by people they don't even know who in the hell runs Europe, and continue to give in to that and don't do nothing. And like I said, our government, they know about voices like me being out here. And look at old AJ there. AJ was telling the truth as much as he can, and was a great source of information for many Americans who were blind to what the stinking Chinese were doing and so many people were doing. He gets canned, he gets thrown out of the internet, and the whole 9 yards. What does our government do? Oh, poor AJ. All right, bye-bye. You know what? When I see him, I see myself in the mirror. Because the stuff that he's been talking for years, there's a lot of stuff that I've been talking for years, except I didn't have a YouTube video, platform, and I wasn't out there doing like he was doing. But a lot of stuff, and I can see the pain in the man's eye, that he's caught up in bringing the truth to people. And it's just something pushes him there, but inside there's a pain, because like people like me, I have a pain inside because I'm caught up in this to bring you the truth about everything. And there are times here I say, what the heck, nobody cares about this stuff, but I still want to put it out there, because if I could enlighten one person, maybe 1 million people here come. They don't subscribe, they don't donate, they don't care about the channel. And they come out here, they listen to me 5 seconds and they leave. But they might be that one individual that listens to the end, and he's listening to every single word. And he or she wants to know the truth of what's going on. I'm here for you. That's who I'm here for. Because who knows? Maybe down the line you can make it different. And if our country does fall, at least know that you'll be maybe right with God, and you'll be on the right side. Being a good person and seeing evil for what it is. There's nothing good about communism. It's all 101% evil. That's what it is. Socialism, communism, and what the Chinese are doing, that's all evil. You know? And we kind of, like I say, AJ sits there, and I can see the frustration, because I have the same freaking frustration. And you want to pull your hair out. Say, what the hell? What the heck am I doing out here? Does anybody care? What's our government? If our government doesn't care about America, and especially when the freedom of speech is being taken away from people, we're not doing anything against those who are taking the freedom of speech away, and we're just allowing them to do anything. If America is, I mean, I've seen it on this guy's eye, like when I'm talking about AJ, and I've seen it on some other people, where we're at that point where, what the hell? If they want to see it burn, then let it burn. Because in some ways, they're asking for it. You know, it's like standing in front of a neighbor's house, yelling and screaming that his house or his garage is on fire. And his entire house is going to catch fire. And you're yelling and screaming. Your neighbor who's inside that house is calling you a bunch of names because you woke him up. And he's telling you he doesn't care and he wants to go back to sleep. And you're like, what the hell? I got to do what I can to save my neighbor. You're out there yelling and screaming and he doesn't care. You go up to the door, you knock on the door, he opens the door and he busts you in the face and tells you to go away. You may even try it a couple of times to try to still convince him that this house is about to go on flame. He's about to kill himself. But after a while of being busted in the face, and after a while of seeing that he doesn't care as much as your heart will hurt, you'll walk away and let him and his whole family burn. Because there's nothing more you can do. And this is the way there's times I feel out here that all this yelling and screaming and all this news and all this enlightenment may be nothing. Nobody really getting anything out of it. All I get is a trolls talking crap. There's no donor for this place. AJ's lost a whole bunch of people. You know, and there's people that's trying to help them. The government sits there. They want American patriots, but they don't want to really help. Not when it comes to really helping, if you know what I mean. No, it's more like you want to help, you're on your own. If you get banned from the internet, well, you got banned from the internet. There's nothing else we're going to do about it. And if your YouTube channel goes down to crap, so be it. This is the government's attitude to those who are trying to bring the light to the United States. So why in the heck we care? It's not about the government, because I'm here about you guys, to help you guys to learn. But our government should get involved a lot more to do stuff for these people who are trying to bring the truth about this war that we're having here with communism and socialism and globalism. The government should step in and say, we're going to help you guys get to, because we are on the same side. The only problem is like, if you went to the army right now and the army was being overrun in some border somewhere, and you showed up with your, you know, your Mossberry and your 22, that's all you have, and you say, I want to help. And yet you see over there on the field, you see Marines and military guys and everybody's being shot up and killed, and you still want to join the battle. But they turn around to the, you're not part of the Army, son, and you're not part of the Marines. Get the hell out of here. And you're like, what the hell? Here I am trying to put my life on the line to help you guys, help our country. And basically what I get is a slap in the face. To go and get the hell out of here. That's what you're telling me. And this is the way a lot of us people out here on YouTube and on Twitter and all these platforms, the way we feel. We're out here exposing ourselves, telling so much about what's coming down the line, and what do we get? A slap in the face from our government. And these enemy, they continue to attack us, and nobody does anything. So anyway, people, this is what I got to say. I'll put news out there. Like I say, my news is not for everybody. And maybe out of 100 people, they come out here, or 200 or 300, whatever. It may only be for 1 or 2 people out here who's really trying to listen to this, and who are really paying attention, and maybe trying to inform other people. I don't know. Or maybe you're all listening to it. I don't know. Let's see what happens. Anyway, if you can, support the channel with a small gift. It'll be appreciated. There's a t-shirt shop. There's an address, I believe, below my description for the t-shirt shop. And my other 6 Seal News Talk is there too. For those who've never gone to 6 Seal News, you can go and subscribe there. And subscribe here. It's very important to subscribe. I'm being honest here. I would like to get some monetizing on this channel, because it helps out with some of the software that I need to get. Hopefully, one day, improve my computer. And it helps me out. Maybe one day I can get out of my daytime job and do this full time, but I can't right now. It just doesn't. I don't have a financial banker. Or, you know, the military could actually do that. Not the military, the U.S. government, to us people who are sitting here, putting out this truth about what's going on with communism, socialism in China and all this other stuff. Our government could step in and say, we're going to make a special funds for you people who are telling the truth, because we can no longer depend on the U.S. fake communist news. We need people like you putting out the real news. And we're going to put out special funding for you guys to help you out and turn this more into your day job. The government could be doing that. Possibly, if they didn't build a couple ICBMs, or they didn't build a couple of their weapon systems in 1 year, that funding could go to us. And we could probably do more good than those weapon systems, because the whole idea is to convince people around the world that communism and socialism is extremely bad. So maybe we wouldn't have that many people around the world trying to destroy the U.S. who have been brainwashed by communism and socialism to think that the U.S. has to be destroyed. So maybe we wouldn't have to build that many weapons. And all they have to do is our government is take some funding and provide some of that funding to private individuals who are the only ones who are now left in the United States. Think about it. The only ones left in the United States right now trying to put out the facts about our political climate and what's going on in the U.S. with socialism and communism and the Chinese and all this is people like me who are out here reporting this stuff. Because the socialist communist media have been compromised. We're at war. The Chinese conquer that. Nobody sees it as a war. Nobody goes in there with the FBI, and nobody goes in there raiding these people, and nobody goes and says, we're going to pull your license because you continue to bring Chinese propaganda to the masses here in the United States, and we're going to shut you down. Nobody does it because they themselves have been compromised. You know. And our government spending billions and billions and billions of dollars on weapon systems to fight the enemy. Why don't you spend some money on this? Why don't you get AJ back on the tube here? Okay? Why don't you go and help other people who have been banned from these and put them back? And why don't you go after these people? Why don't you allow us, why don't you give us the funding and the resources we need to really put the message out to America how evil and is China and the communists and the socialists, and wake up America, the entire America, to the fact. Spend billions of dollars on idiotic weapon systems that maybe one day we're all going to get blown to hell because somebody will make a weapon system will take out the entire country with one button. For nothing. We could have had the opportunity right now to do something. But no. Funding for me. Psh. I've been here almost 2 years. Look at my Patreon account. And those are the people. I bless those people for the help. But that goes to show you how much there is into this. A lot of the stuff I had to get it from my own money, from my own work, from my own stuff, and get the stuff myself. Anyway, I'm going to keep knocking on the door. I may get slammed a couple times by the neighbor who doesn't care about his house burning, his entire family. But I'm going to keep knocking on the door because I love you guys. And maybe one day, when I get slammed too many times to the floor, I'll say the hell with it. And I think there are other people who are just at that borderline right now. And I'll tell my government, you asked for it, then you're going to get it. The day they raise the Chinese stinking red flag over Capitol Hill, and the day Xi Jinping is taking a shit in the White House, in his own little toilet, and everybody on the staff is eating egg rolls, don't say we didn't tell you so. Because that could happen. So anyway, y'all have a blessed one. Let's pray for the United States. Let's pray for the immigrants. Immigrants are tools, people. Immigrants have, those immigrants trying to get to the U.S., they're only pawns for a very big game of people who are playing this game. Okay, let's pray for them that they wake up to the fact, turn around, go back to their country, and go do that protest in their governments and maybe reset their governments. Do something there. So anyway, have a blessed one. Until next time, bye-bye now.